Hello, nerds! Thank you for joining me here on Nerd News Clips. This is the second channel. This is the place for all of the short form content as well as the individual sections and just generally speaking smaller things. If you are into the longer form content, youtube.com/generallynerdy is the place to go see that. With that out of the way, let's get into this. Now let's talk about movies. So in movies, we have mostly just follow-ups, and so let's get into the follow-ups. Blue Beetle is our first follow-up, and this one's actually kind of lengthy. So we have the announcement that Sharon Stone and George Lopez have both been cast in the movie. Sharon Stone is going to be playing a character created just for the movie, though related to a character from the Blue Beetle mythology. Her character's name is going to be Victoria Cord, K-O-R-D. If you are familiar with the Blue Beetle lore, then you will recognize that last name because it belongs to Ted Cord, who was the original Blue Beetle in the comic books. So that has led into some rumors, which we will get to in the rumor mill for sure. But then George Lopez is set to play Uncle Rudy Reyes, who is the uncle to Jaime in the mythology, and the movie is still set for an August 18th theatrical release in 2023, not this year, next year. So our next follow-up is an awesome one. Real quick, Deadpool 3 follow-up. We do have, it's all but officially been announced. I mean, the two of the main people involved in this have announced it. So Ryan Reynolds and Leslie Ugams, I apologize for mispronouncing that, have made it known that she will be returning as Blind Mag, and that's freaking awesome. I realize it just said Blind Mag, but I meant to say Blind Al, and I'm sorry, but this is the way we're editing the episode, so. She and Ryan Reynolds both have confirmed as much on their Twitters, so if you want to go see my evidence, then you can do that by following them on the Twitters. Next, we're talking about Morbius, and there is kind of spoiler territory ahead, though we're not going to talk in detail about this, so kind of not really spoilers alert, I guess, but it does seem that the two post-credit scenes have both been leaked online, seemingly from the test screenings that have been happening over the last approximately 2 months, I believe. And yeah, it's kind of there again. Even if we were to explicitly talk about what's happening in these, there's nothing in these that's really going to give away what happens in the movie. It's just we get a little bit more Michael Keaton action. So I almost wanted to put this into the rumor mill because it is leaks, but I'm pretty sure this is legit. Like, there's so little doubt in my head it would be like a 99.9999999% likelihood that this is real. You can find these two clips on the internet. It is not super hard, so you don't have to really dig that far, but they do exist. The movie does come out this week. And yeah, just interesting, I guess. And then our other follow-up is for the Teen Wolf reboot movie, which is the culmination, it seems, of the series, but not really. This is just casting stuff. We're not going to get into what the potential of this movie actually is, but this is casting stuff. We do have Ian Bohen, Kylan Rambo, both reprising their roles from the MTV series, and also Tyler Hoechlin is in negotiations to do the same. So no release date. No, they're not even into production just yet because they're still finalizing contracts. There were a slew of other casting announcements for this movie as well, but they were all for new characters. It wasn't, you know, the same stuff. So if you are interested, follow the link in the description, and we're moving right along. Next, we have trailers to get out of the way. So first, we have the new Top Gun Maverick trailer. This movie is still set for May 27th. We get a little bit more Miles Teller in this trailer, which is pretty awesome because that's what this movie should be about, even though it's probably not going to be. Thank you very much, Tom Cruise. But still gonna be fun, gonna be worth a watch when it comes out. And then the big one, and I felt so weird putting this in as a trailer because it's not really a trailer, it's a cut scene. The Batman has released their Joker scene that has been cut from the movie. There are about 17 different channels on YouTube that have posted it in its entirety. It is a little over 5 minutes long. We don't really see the Joker in this, even though we do. Like, he's never in focus unless it's like an extreme close-up on his eyes or something. Very effective, I really feel like. So the reasoning, let's get into this. The reason why Matt Reeves took this scene out of the movie is because he said it kind of interrupted the pacing of the movie. Where he had it, it really kind of was redundant in a lot of ways and slowed things down, which if you already have a 3-hour-plus movie, maybe don't slow things down. So I can understand that. But my postulation for this is maybe the other things that covered this information previously in the movie could have been removed and kept the Joker. Because this is probably the best rather fan servicey thing from the movie, and it was completely removed. Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. It's fantastic. You should absolutely go watch this. This gives me a lot more hope going forward, though that hope comes with a little asterisk because Matt Reeves has made it explicitly known that we might not ever see the Joker again in his universe. We very likely won't see him in the next movie. I would be surprised if that was the case, but that is the words that he's giving us. So very potentially this could just be a one-off, really awesome scene. And because you don't have to deal with Pattinson's cardboard Batman as much, because most of this is Barry, I don't know how to pronounce his last name and I apologize, but he does fantastic. Because most of this is Barry, and Pattinson is supposed to be introspective in this scene. Like, it works so much better than a lot of that movie. So yeah, very strange choice to have cut this and kept the other stuff instead of the other way around. But that is what we have for trailers. Again, really weird putting that in as trailers. And we have a real quick breaking news piece. I was just informed of this while filming today, that Bruce Willis is retiring from acting. He has been diagnosed with aphasia, and that's all we know right now. So we will probably touch on this one more time after I can get a little bit more research behind it next week. But yeah, Bruce Willis retiring from acting. That's pretty big. And that's actually all of the news for the movies section. So that gets us into suggestions, and going in line with our the quick and nerdy that I just posted. Today's this week's movie suggestion rather is going to be Seven. I am a huge David Fincher fan. I think Seven is probably the best example of modern film noir. And Fincher is amazing. There's so many video essays. There are so many analyses of this movie on why it's one of the greatest cop movies ever, that you can honestly spend hours on YouTube just analyzing this movie with the people who wrote the essays and such. That it stands as evidence of itself that you should be watching this movie. It does come with, again, a little bit of an asterisk because this is a very graphic movie. So if you are, light on the stomach, maybe don't go watch it. But if you are a fan of cinema, if you are a fan of fantastic cinematography and writing, or just Brad Pitt, or just Morgan Freeman, or, anyone else just go watch this movie. It's so good. So good. And that's our movie suggestion. Once again, this has been just a brief segment from the larger episode that has been posted over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. Go over there for the long form content, or just subscribe here if you want it in bite-sized chunks. Thank you very much for joining me, nerds. We'll see you in the next one. Before we go though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.